What the fuck was that?
Sorry.
What was that, Josh?
There's natural instinct there.
What was that, Josh?
Natural instinct.
The dust off the table and then wiped it on me.
Sorry, I just did it without even thinking.
Yeah, in case...
There you go. It's on the floor now. There you go.
In case anyone couldn't hear that, Josh just rubbed his finger along my table to take the dust off it. And then rubbed it on my sofa.
Yeah.
As you do.
The underside of the sofa. Now it's on the floor. Sorry, my bad. I don't know why.
Welcome, Josh. Well, welcome back. It's good to have you.
I made myself at home. I thought that's what you said.
Clearly, mi casa es su casa.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 30 of Rather Be Playing, the podcast where we talk about how you'd rather be playing games than almost ruining your mother's surprise birthday party by mentioning this shit on the podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Elliot.
And I'm Stevo.
Yeah, so faithful listeners will remember that yesterday, or last episode, I was talking about how I was flying back east to go see my wife because she's out there for the summer. And apparently my mother still listens to this podcast. And part of the other reason I was supposed to fly out there was for a surprise birthday party for her. Thankfully, I didn't ruin the party, but she was like, oh my God, Josh is coming home. And meanwhile, my dad and my mom and my wife and I are scrambling and trying to think of like a good story for me to come back.
Oh.
We eventually settled on I was coming back to check on the car that is in the shop right now. But
I didn't realize she didn't know you were coming at all.
no, I was supposed to like hang out at my brother's place for like 2 days and hide out before then.
I didn't realize your mom was still listening. Hey, Josh's mom.
Hello.
Yeah. She's
What a patient woman.
Well, she listens to she listens to the first part and then, says gaming. What the hell's that? Off.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so
I think my brother does the same thing.
yeah, but hi Stevo's brother.
I guess we have...
And hey, my niece and nephew. Sorry about all the swearing.
Maybe we should just stop talking about games and just start bullshit for an hour.
That seems to be all people want anymore, so they just like us for us.
Yeah.
You mean our families like us for us? I'm thinking most other.
It's a high bar, Stevo. It's a high bar.
High bar from my family. They don't listen. So.
Too high. It's always been too high. One thing after another.
That's enough. That's enough time for us.
Well, thankfully though, the birthday party was a success. Though my little brother and I took my mom out for lunch and a bunch of other errands. And when we came back, my dad and my wife and a bunch of other people had gotten all the people together that had shown up, either flown in, driven in, and she was surprised when we finally rolled up. So that at least was not ruined.
That's so cool.
Good stuff. And we all got cake out of it.
Yeah.
USA.
I did deliver some leftover cake to these guys, and it's really good.
If you haven't inferred it by now, we are all in the same room recording this in Stevo's living room, which is probably the third or fourth time we've ever done this. So.
Yeah,
I know.
Lads, it's been too long since the last one.
I know. I'm really glad I can't smell you guys through the computer screen when we normally do this.
I specifically had a shower before you got here, Josh.
I appreciate it.
I walked through the hot heat for about an hour.
I've missed the musk.
That's all me, baby. It's all natural.
Well, other than me ruining birthday parties, how about you guys? What you guys been up to?
Well, I don't live here either, so I've been traveling as well. I came down for, my mom does this yearly summer party. Might have mentioned it a year ago on the podcast when
Faithful listeners will remember that a year ago, Elliot mentioned this on the podcast.
maybe not. Might not have. But yeah, so we just did that. Saw some extended family comes over there. I live in the area. And
I appreciated the piñata.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Listen.
My mom bought a piñata. She doesn't follow soccer. She doesn't follow sports at all. And she just happened to like the shape of this piñata. It's this big star shape. And in the middle, it's like a paper plate with the Real Madrid crest right on it. And I got there and I walked into the house and I see this big mirror Real Madrid
thing. Someone taking the piss?
Yeah, I was like, what is this? Who would?
Because Real Madrid beat Liverpool in the Champions League.
No, I know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
now you get to beat the shit out of it, though.
Yeah, so I came around. I was like, actually, this might be all right. And I did. I think Amy took some video of me. Like, The birthday people get to go first, as is tradition, and then they're like, "All right, Elliot, you can
spend the remaining 3 hours of the day just
eating it."
wailing on this thing."
So, Elliot, the candy's out. The candy's out. I know.
And then, of course, once the paper plates fell off, I had to tear them. And that.
So it was cathartic.
It was it was great. It was a good day. It was a good feeling. It was it all ended very well. My cousin there is a Man City supporter, so and he's been pretty humble about having the greatest season any Premier League team could ever have.
Yeah, I'm okay with people that are Man City fans.
Yeah. You can.
Yeah, because even they still seem confused about this thing that they call success.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll be as confused at the end of this season. Liverpool.
Hopefully.
Well.
Very nice and confused.
Yeah, and this year you guys got to remind me to get back into this because again I used to watch Premier League a long time ago. I didn't really have a team. I just enjoyed watching it and I kind of followed it.
3 hours the wrong side.
I know, but if it's as long as it's not like a shit.
Well, it's that's the problem. All the good
7 a.m.
Liverpool games are 7 a.m. The big rivalries are going to be 7 a.m. against
my
Everton.
time or your time.
Our time. Yeah.
Fuck.
So against Everton and Manchester United, that's what time they're going to be.
You were about to get upset about 7 a.m. your time.
No, I wasn't. I was about to say 7 a.m. I can make that work.
Okay.
But yeah, 4 a.m.
All right, never mind.
Murder.
I'll DVR it.
They do like 10 a.m. As well, and sometimes you get even like later, like early afternoon games. But
I'll just DVR it and then we talk about it later.
Yeah, you definitely do that. But it's totally worth it. Like I got into it last World Cup, and I was like, I'm not done watching soccer, and we just segued right into I hung out with Stevo a lot and Darren, who are both Liverpool fans, and that's how I got into it.
Yeah, a few people that I was watching the World Cup with who had never watched any other football are like that as well. They're thinking about getting into Premier League teams because of this.
A great time to do it.
Stay tuned for Rather Be Diving, the official Liverpool soccer podcast.
Oh man,
cheap digs.
All right, you're
digs.
off the podcast.
At least he called it diving and not flopping.
Yeah.
So credit where it's due.
I've been following soccer for years. I know the terminology.
All right, you, Stevo. What's new with you?
What's going on? Summertime.
Yeah.
I'm going to Hamilton on Friday.
Oh,
kind of
nice.
amazing at the Kennedy Center.
That's
Nice.
gonna be
Yeah,
so
looking
good.
forward to that. I've been trying to decide whether I should listen to the soundtrack beforehand.
No,
I've
just
gone
go.
in.
Yeah,
Just
go in
earmuffs.
fresh.
Yeah.
Even now, like Amy's listened to the whole thing and she'll sing it and stuff. She's like, "You've got to listen to it. It's good." I was like, "I want to hear it for the first time."
Yeah,
like
that's what I've gone with.
I saw Book of Mormon. I would not recommend anybody listen to the Book of Mormon unless before they go see it because it's just so amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That first time, the whole experience, visual and audio.
Yeah, pretty excited about that. And apart from that, as I said, Elliot, trying to plan trip up to Easton to visit you and Amy.
You gotta come up, man. It's a fun town. You know, it's no DC or New York, but it's quaint, it's cute, and it's got stuff going on.
It's got bacon.
So we do have our Bacon Fest coming up. If you
Wait, where's the Garlic Fest? Was Garlic Fest in Easton?
Garlic Fest is a thing too. Amy sent the links over. I can't remember when it is exactly, but it's all like fall festivals.
Yep.
Yeah, right after the
Oh, and I went to the DC United opener.
Yeah.
All right.
Which was awesome. The new stadium is breathtaking. It's really, really cool. It's much smaller than your major US sports stadiums or than obviously like Premier League stadiums or European soccer stadiums.
Right.
But it's so well designed. It's got like really steep seating, so like everyone has good view.
Yeah.
It traps the sound in. It's got a great atmosphere. Went to the opening game. Wayne Rooney is just signed for DC United again. Very conflicted, but he did look a class apart.
Yeah.
When he gets the ball, he just appears to have an hour and a half to decide what to do.
How old
with
is
it.
He's now?
He's 32, I think.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought
so
he
he's
would have been mid-30s.
he's got a good 4 years to play for them at least. You know, I think he scored his opening goal yesterday. Actually, for
Yeah,
them.
he finally scored one.
Yeah,
I
and
saw
they won
that.
that 2-1 after winning.
Finally
the one
scored
that I
one in the
watched.
opener?
Well,
No, it was
he
his
had
first
played
goal.
his opening goal. For
Oh,
them.
okay.
So it was his third game, I think.
Yeah.
So he's doing all right. Again, hard to cheer for him, but easy to cheer for the team. Apart from that, I've been doing this crazy thing called playing some games, lads.
Oh man. Okay,
You
so
have.
I guess we'll take this time to say goodbye to Josh's mom and Stevo's brother.
It's Steve's brother and niece and nephew. Hey.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Going into video games.
So I'll just follow on from last episode. So I've been playing, since I've been traveling a lot, I've been playing mostly Switch. And I've been pretty much obsessed with Octopath Traveler the entire time I've been traveling. And Yes. Okay. Yeah. Traveling while traveling. Okay.
Have you been Octo traveling?
yeah.
As well?
No, I've only traveled like 4 times, so I still got 4 more trips to catch up.
Well, you got to make your way back. So
it's true. Oh, Christ, so sick of traveling. But anyway, while I was in my Las Vegas hotel, not gambling. Well, I was. By the way, I forgot to mention, I was up $400, and then I spent it. So I was.
What were you playing?
Slots.
Yep.
Just penny slots.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't care if I come home as long as I don't go home under. Even then, I've.
You said, I don't care if I come home as long as I'm not under.
Like
Lily doesn't care if I don't come home as long as I'm not on her.
I set aside a certain amount of money that's a sunk cost. If I can break even, then I'm totally fine. So
that's a good way.
Unless I win like $1,000 or something like that, then I'm like, okay, I'm done. But 400, I was like, well, I still have a week left here. I might as well see what I got. Anyway. So I was playing a lot of Octopath Traveler, and I've completed each of the main character stories. So that's all eight stories, 4 chapters each.
It's only 4 chapters?
Yeah, but and each chapter takes like maybe an hour. They're all pretty short.
Wow. For 8 times.
But there's 32 total chapters then. So that's 32 hours, give or take. And then there's a bunch of little side quests to do. And as well as opening up like secondary jobs and things like that. So I got all the jobs. I've done all the main story stuff. So now I've got like these 3 little side quests that are remaining, which have bosses that are really fucking difficult.
Yeah.
So I gotta knock out these last few. Actually, I have 2 left. Last 2 side quests, and then there's like a final dungeon type thing that opens up after there's certain side quests you have to do in order to open it up. It's not really. There's nothing in the main story that kind of leads you there, but like once you do these side stories, you're like, oh, there's something else kind of going on, and there are hints throughout the main story, but nothing that says, all right, congratulations, you've completed all eight chapters or stories. Go here.
Did you have to look at a guide at all, or was it pretty clear where you could pick up side quests?
Other than like just chatting on forums, like I had already done these side quests, and someone had mentioned, oh, well, once you've done these 2 side quests, then you go here, and that's how it opens up the thing. Mm-hmm. But it does kind of lead you there with the side quests if you've done them. I mean, like after you complete the side quest, you find out, okay, there's this thing going on and it's over in this general area. And then eventually you head over to there and it's like, hey, fight this thing. And then all of a sudden a new location pops up in your map.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I'm almost done. I'm sitting at about like 40 something hours.
Damn. The question I was going to ask about it was the reviews. A lot of people weren't sure whether there was a cohesive story and if it did all build to something or not. But the question that I was going to ask you about it was, were lots of people putting out reviews without having finished all of the stories? And are you literally saying that there's 32 story missions? Couldn't people have played through all of them before putting out reviews? Like, what was the rush? Didn't they give them enough embargo time and stuff?
So, one, I'll just say that I probably tend to play games faster than most.
True. I mean, if you've learned anything listening to the podcast,
I mean, I still feel like I do the same amount of stuff. I just am able to get through it quicker. And I don't know, like I remember when I was playing Skyrim for the first time, and my friend Neil was also playing Skyrim, and we were both like played for about the same rough amount of time, like 20 hours. But I was like super far ahead because he takes his time. Yeah. Whereas like I walk into a room, I kind of just scan around the room and I'm like, okay, that's the important thing I need to look at. Maybe maybe look over here for something else. I don't know. Just I'm not saying it's like a skill or anything, but it's just something that I've just come to do.
He's saying it's a skill.
It's a skill. Anyway, so it's I don't think that really people. I mean, I'm sure there were some reviewers that didn't do like everything all at once. And I think most people at least finished the 8 stories. Cause like I was saying about the final dungeon thing, it's not necessarily like out in the open. Like it doesn't say like you finish these 8 stories. Hey, here's this final dungeon, go. Yeah. There is some like side questing and things that kind of lead you to that thing. So it's not like it's inherently obvious once you finish the 8 stories.
You know what's interesting? If it was on PlayStation, would it be a lot clearer? Because you could go to the trophy list and
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they would be hidden trophies anyway, but you would certainly know that you were building to something.
Well, so here's the thing, though, is nothing's really building towards it. That's the thing. It's so like this game really is just 8 stories, and each of these 8 stories, there's might be like something that connects them, but nothing really like that is prevalent throughout the entire story.
But I thought there was rumors that if you played all of the 8 people's stories through and did all the side quests, that there was some final chapter.
There is a final chapter, but it's it's something that's like hinted at throughout the chapters, but like really once you hit like the final chapters, chapter 4, once you beat the chapter 4 of each character, that story is basically for the most part over. Okay. Like they have accomplished their goal. They have either grown as a person or whatever, like a set out what they set to do.
Yep.
Set out to do. And then this last thing is really more of a post game, like, oh yeah, by the way, there's also this ancient evil thing. It's hinted at, like I said, plenty of times throughout the chapters.
Yep.
Yeah, it is kind of disjointed, but I mean, it's, I don't know. I kind of like having these minor stories, because you're not playing like I have to save the world like you have in a ton of RPGs. It's nice to just have like you've got a revenge story, or I just want to go see the world, or I want to heal people, or what's another good one? I got caught. Now I got to do this task in order to be free from my bonds.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do kind of like that. I do wish there was a bit more interaction between the party members and stuff. It does exist, but like I said, I think I mentioned this in the last one. When you go to like, Ophelia's chapter 2, all the scenes only contain Ophelia. Yeah, like you don't see any of the other characters. While you're wandering around after a scene, you might get like a button that says press this to see travel banter, and then you see some interaction just like ad hoc between some characters, and they talk about what's going on, which is fine. And some of them are actually pretty funny and pretty entertaining, but they're not really there in the scenes. So it's definitely like 8 stories that are just kind of happening all at the same time, not necessarily intersecting.
And potentially they can build on that idea and fill out the things that were missing. And the second one, the follow up to this, could be
they could. There's definitely some things I think they can improve on, but for the most part, I'm really enjoying the game. The combat system is great. I like all the little details they have, like when you investigate an NPC, because you can pretty much investigate any NPC that's got a little thought bubble above it. And it gives like a little bio of the person. And sometimes like there's one where you can investigate a dog, and it's like it says something along the lines of, "This is a good dog, and anybody who says so, a pox upon them," or who doesn't say so, a pox upon them. Stuff like that. So there's a lot of little neat details in the game that I really appreciate. And the music is amazing. The graphics are really, really cool for like a 2D thing, that 2D, 3D thing they got going on. Again, I know some people like really are hoping for like this overarching global story, and it's not really there.
For me, the fact that it doesn't have that, the fact that it doesn't have an epic storyline, I'm like, this probably isn't going to be my first real, JRPG.
It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Although, wait, do the Shin Megami Tensei games count as Persona 4 count?
I mean, technically, once you get to the final boss of Shin Megami Tensei, their main goal.
Oh wait, I didn't play any of those though.
You played Persona 4.
Yeah, does Persona 4 Golden count? I guess it's as JRPG as it gets, is it?
Oh yeah, it's a JRPG. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to picture how everything is organized. So like when you where you're at right now, have you finished all the characters?
Yes.
All their chapters?
Yes.
So do you have to finish the characters all 4 chapters before you can go to another character, or can you just jump in anytime?
No. So the way I think the game is designed is you do all the chapter 1s, you do all the chapter 2s, you do all the chapter 3s.
Do you have to do it that way?
No.
You don't have to, but when you look at the map, it'll say like, oh, here's where Therion's chapter 3 is, and then it gives you like a recommended level for that.
You mentioned that last episode. Yeah. Okay.
So I think the way it's intended is to do all the 1s, all the 2s, all the 3s, and then all the 4s. You probably could do it a different way, or back and forth, up and down, but it's just a matter of, I mean, you have to do a 2 before you do a 3. Like you can't do Therion's chapter 3 before Therion's chapter 2.
Yeah. So this reminds me of, I don't know, and we might have said this before too, but Saga Frontier.
Kind of, yeah.
Also had multiple. No, this is a different.
No, we talked.
Oh, we talked.
Yeah, we did.
I think like that whole chunk. Last
episode.
But yeah, it's similar, but it's not, because it's all in one playthrough rather than individual stories. So
yeah, that's great.
But yeah, hopefully I'll be done with that pretty soon. And then I've got the other one I picked up since I had all this birthday credit for my Switch was Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh, that one's so good.
It's really simplistic.
What? Yeah, but it's really like.
I mean, it's not really a bad thing. I'm like, I mean, it's for me at this point. It's a very relaxing game. I'm not using my.
But that's why it's great.
I'm not using my brain at all for this.
But it's
perfect Switch game.
Exactly.
Perfect travel game.
Do you have it as well?
I have it on Wii U.
Yeah.
Perfect travel game.
And exactly, like there's a reason I haven't played that much of it. I think I've played maybe the first 12 levels. Is there like 40 or something?
There's 40 in the first book, and then you get a second book.
Oh, maybe I've played 40 then. Maybe I've played the first book.
I've played through the first book and some of the second. I don't know if there's more than that. I don't know if there's a third book or a fourth or whatever.
I've done like 16 levels, I think, something like that. I don't know.
Is there 24 per book?
I think it's 30 per book, but yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Maybe I haven't done the first full book. I can't imagine I've done more in a game than Josh has.
But I mean, for those who don't know, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is basically like a little... It's almost like a... You know how you have mobile games where you try and beat each level getting 3 stars and then you move on?
Yeah.
It's similar in the sense that you have a 3D... Like a small 3D puzzle world where you have to collect these 3 diamonds before you collect the star at the end of the level. And that might involve sneaking past some Shy Guys or other Mario enemies, or moving platforms up and down, spinning them around. Basically just...
Simple environmental puzzles.
Yes, and you can. The only thing you can do is run.
Yeah,
and move
and
faster.
Even not that fast.
Yeah,
and it's one block at a time. Like
yeah. And by the way, I figured out I could run on like level 16, so I didn't realize you could actually move a little faster.
Might not know that you can do that.
Yeah, I think I held down B and I was like, oh, he does move a little faster.
Uh-huh.
So
it is a very relaxing game, though, as you say, and it's so satisfying when you get the one that you haven't been able to find for like.
Yeah, I mean,
5
like
minutes. It doesn't ever tend to take you that long to figure out, but
yeah, I mean, the 3 diamonds so far, getting those has been pretty easy. I mean, like level 15 is like a level that's mostly underwater, but there's some stuff on top. And like I found the diamonds really quickly, but then it's also like you have the secondary hidden objective that's like find the golden mushroom, and I have no idea where the hell that thing is. So,
the other interesting thing about it is the boss levels.
Yeah, the boss levels are really good.
I just did the one so far. The
so
fire breathing dude that you knock him on his head.
So I've done a couple of those. So
Yeah.
maybe I am a little further than you.
I think I've done 2 or 3.
Not that I'm ever going to go back to a Wii U to play it, but
I want to when I do play my Wii U, that's the game I play because you can just sit there and it's one of those games where the whole thing is playable just on the gamepad, so you don't have to be tethered, but you still have to be in your house
on the gamepad on the dinner tray.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you can. I mean, there's certain things like when you're looking for Pixel Toad, it's like a hidden. I don't know if that was in the Wii U version or not, but it's like a little pixel version of Toad is hiding somewhere on the stage.
No,
yeah, it's just like a new find him thing. But basically, you look around the map and then or at the stage, and he's hiding somewhere, and you just got to touch the screen. Or I think if you're using in the dock mode, I think the right stick or the right Joy-Con has motion controls, so you find him and point it at it.
It's a pointer. Oh,
yeah. It's just a little extra thing. I mean, yeah. So,
dang. Yeah, I know there's like subtle differences, and I think there's another like few extra levels or something.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where they had some set of themed, like maybe 4 themed levels in the Wii U one, and they took those out and then made new ones. So it's like, if you really want all the content, you have to get both, but it's like a minuscule amount.
Right.
But yeah, like I thought it was fun. It's if anyone's played Super Mario 3D World, these are like, there's Toad themed levels this is how it started.
Were they mini games? Were they specific levels or?
They were they're basically like little mini games, and they were exactly like Treasure Tracker. So they basically took those and just made like several dozen more and put it in its own game.
Oh wait, what's the Mario Odyssey thing?
It's a game on Switch.
It's got like mini levels that are kind of like that, but are you still Mario in them? Or are you Toad in them?
Does Odyssey have Toad
Odyssey
levels?
has the ones that you get to through the blue things. The blue.
Yeah,
sorry, no, it's Mario and Rabbits. Is it?
That's different.
That's
Mario and Rabbits.
But are they similar in the way that?
No.
Okay. That's me, Toad.
But no.
I'll be sitting here looking sheepish for the rest of the episode if you're wondering why I'm not talking.
Stevo's ears are down.
Yeah, those are really the big 2 things that I've been playing. Again, I still need to go back and finish the last 2% of Hollow Knight. But
wait, you mentioned some Mega Man stuff as well, didn't you?
Oh yeah. So before the cast, we were talking. So I did also pick up the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, the first collection, which is Mega Man X 1 through 4. And I've just kind of been playing around with that. I mean, I've beaten all 4 of those before, but it's fun to have them portable, and there's a lot of extra stuff to do.
Mega Man X was on Super Nintendo?
Yep, you have it on your SNES Classic.
Okay, I have it. And
That's the one I recorded for you to be.
oh, that's right. Okay, I do have to get back to that. The other Legacy collection that was on PS4 was the original Legacy collection.
Yeah, the
Is
original.
that right?
There's the OG Mega Man games, like from the NES.
Yeah, so when I got the NES Classic, I found there was such a difference between Mega Man 2, how it played, like frame rate, or, playing it, and then going to the PS4. Felt like a completely different game to me. It felt like it controlled, like, completely differently.
Really?
In a good way?
I felt like they.
In a bad way. I couldn't play it on PS4. I felt like it was, like, slow.
I feel like they emulated the stuff the same way, because like Mega Man 2 is notorious for having certain parts of the game where there's noticeable slowdown, like in Metal Man stage when the little clamps are coming down, like it slows down to a crawl. And I think that was there in the NES version, and it's there in the NES Classic version.
Yeah, I know
But
that.
I mean, I think it's also emulated that way in the PS4 version and whatnot too.
Isn't the Legacy collection rebuilt from the ground up?
That's what I thought.
It might be. I mean, I've
fair.
played it on the PS4 too, and I don't know. I don't really remember.
And you would be very sensitive to that kind of thing, right?
maybe I
would.
don't. I played through them, so I met a bunch of them. So I'm not sure if it's really that different. I mean, it might be. I just didn't notice. But.
And which ones are good? Which ones are worth playing on that? Because I remember picking it up on the PS4.
So in the Legacy
thinking it didn't
collection,
feel right.
I'd play all 6. I mean, 1 is kind of archaic compared to the other 5, but 2 through 6 are all good to some degree. 5 is probably the easiest one, but they're all good.
Cool.
3 is probably the best. 4 is my other best, just for nostalgic reasons, because the first one I really played. And then 2 is good, and 5 and 6 are also good. So
Maybe I'll pick it up again. It could have been that I bought it so long ago. Was it out on the PS4 ages and ages ago?
Yeah,
a while ago, yeah.
That maybe I bought it before I properly tuned my TV for
Oh.
minimal
maybe.
for lag. So maybe
Maybe.
that's why I was feeling a little bit weird.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking forward to playing some more Mega Man X.
Speaking of that, I do have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know if this broke anything technically.
Oh, no new games.
No new games.
2018.
I didn't buy any new games, but I got an NES Classic.
You got any? Oh,
Yeah, so that was like,
I think we said consoles were allowed.
but the games are in there
Yeah.
as well, so it's
You technically just bought 30 games.
that's
Good
the
point.
question.
It's a good point.
I
Okay, so clearly I'm allowed to buy God of War. Finally, yes.
it was something I didn't think too hard about because I was afraid that I would end up deciding not to, but the NES Classic was so hard to come by.
It's something that I didn't think too hard about, because if I did, I probably would have realized it was wrong and not done it. Well, that's good. Glad you didn't think too hard
That's
about
how I make most of my bad decisions. to be honest. But yeah, like you guys got it. I remember you got it on the Amazon truck, like barely out of that, and it happened to be in your town. You got one, and like you had to get like a bundle or something. Or
Yeah, that's right.
it was just they were so hard to come by back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't want one until the Super NES Classic, and now I'm like, now I have to have them both because I went through like the lines and the pre-orders for Super Nintendo Classic. And
You
barely
can
got
use
that.
your Super Nintendo controller with it as well, and it's
I
longer.
assume,
and that is
but
what
I'm glad you confirmed
and
that.
now you can finally play the Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, wait. Final Fantasy 3 is on NES Classic.
Oh, it's on.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, you can modify it. But
Like I do with my Super NES.
so I saw a tweet that was like NES Classics on Walmart bundled with Pokeball or something like that. But if you do it through the app, you can get it without the Pokeball. And it was like the normal price, normal thing. And I went through the checkout and it worked. And I was like, okay, I got it. And it showed up and I tried it out and it's awesome. It's just
Nice.
It's so
have
nice
you
to have,
played
but-
Mega Man 2?
uh
It is a
I had it-
flawless game.
I had it growing up as a kid and I don't know if I beat it, but it was one of those games that we just played all the time.
Yeah. It's perfect. Get Josh to like scribble down the order to do things in and then
Yeah.
play it through. It's so
Do I
satisfying.
need to make a video of this one?
There's a lot.
You could.
There's a lot I want to play through, and I'm excited to have it. But I was also kind of like, "Are we still cool here?"
No! Not cool!
It counts as a console.
I think it's very borderline at best, but I'll allow it.
This has been Rather Be Rationalizing with Elliot.
That's my life.
Yeah.
And Mario 3. Have you played anything else?
I played a few minutes of the first Castlevania, which I enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like Super Castlevania 4, which is on the SNES Classic, is a bit of a remake. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, it's so good, even on like the original NES.
You think so? I couldn't play it as well.
No,
I don't think I stuck with it.
I was surprised at how much I kept going with it. I was like, oh, let me just try this out. And then it's like 20 minutes later, and I'm like dying and being like, shit, doing it again. And yeah, it's that's the only one I've tried out, and I know a lot of it seems pretty dated, but what I'm excited about trying out is the original, like giving a real college try, like the original Final Fantasy.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta. There's some archaic stuff to deal with, but
I've played the original ROM, and it's or like on the Wii U Virtual Console when it came out. I got it there, and it was just like, this is tough. Like it is real tough.
No more auto targeting when you kill an enemy.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like
wait, what do you mean?
So in Final Fantasy 1 and 2, the NES games, not 2, 4, whatever. In the Final Fantasy 1 and 2, there was no code for when, like, say you have all 4 of your characters attack this one enemy.
Yep.
If your first guy kills the guy,
your next switch to the next.
Your
guy?
next 3 miss.
Oh,
yeah.
Because they don't attack to the next guy.
Oh, wow.
So you have to plan out so you don't waste your turns.
So and it's like
because like you can't guarantee the first one's even gonna hit.
Yeah, it could be a miss, and stuff like you have to like magic spells were one per use, and you had to buy each and every one, and they cost like 3 times more than all the money you'll see for the first couple hours, and it's just like,
and there's 4 spells per level, and you can only fit 3.
It's so hard.
Elliot, when you say the real college try, the only way that this would ever happen is if you actually quit your job and go back to undergrad college.
I've heard rumors that people have finished this game. Like I wanna try it.
I beat it.
I beat
a long time ago. Beat it.
I beat the remakes.
Surprise.
I know.
But yeah, it's when I see stuff like that, I get excited. I'm like, I can sit down and play this like an NES. The Mega Man games, the Castlevania games, the Zelda games. I've never played Zelda 2, Adventure of Link, which is like the black sheep of the series. But I want to give that a real try. I want to I don't know. I'm glad I got it. It's adorable next to the Super Nintendo Classic.
Yeah, they look good, don't they?
With your European one, the Japanese Famicom style one. Yeah. But yeah, so that is a bit of what I've been playing as well that I totally forgot about before we started recording this podcast. Like I did play some, but only a few minutes. But I'm very much looking forward to getting into it more. So yeah, other than that, Stevo, what have you been playing?
I've been playing lots and lots of long games. Well, for start, I finally beat Hollow Knight. Well,
the base ending.
Yeah, I say beat. I thought I'd done really well. Thought I picked up loads of things. I was heading towards one of the endings.
Yeah. They're all in the same place. It just matters what the stuff you do beforehand.
Okay. Okay. So not to spoil too much, it's pretty obvious where you're meant to be heading.
Yes.
Like there's like sub bosses first, I guess, and then you know where you're heading to do the final boss.
Yep.
And I assumed at that point that I had at least hit 86%, to equal Josh's when I did the final thing. But of course, no. It was 81 when I finally beat it. It was a tough final boss. A little bit tricky, but what a satisfying game, man.
So you beat it, but you didn't Josh beat it.
I didn't Josh.
There's still a final boss.
Josh hasn't even Josh beat it yet.
Josh beat it.
Yeah. So I'm almost there.
But I did beat it. I got the ending, rolled credits. What a satisfying game, lads. Again, perfect for Switch, perfect for a Switch Pro controller. It's a way to play it. It's so satisfying.
Now you got to play it through on what it was called, like Nightmare mode or whatever you get only one life.
No, I'm gonna 100% it with on my current save. That's got to be done first.
Yeah.
But what a brilliant game. Absolutely adored it. Put in 41 hours, I think it took me to complete it. Maybe a little more than that, maybe 45. But that was like hanging about trying to pick up a few things before going to the final boss.
Right.
yeah, again, everyone play Hollow Knight. Play it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Elliot, go play it. Finish it.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's. I don't know if I said this privately or in the last one, but I think it's one of the best, easily the best Metroidvania I've ever played. One of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
It's definitely
amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I think just moment to moment, I've enjoyed it more than the Symphony of the Night. I think I have enjoyed it more than Super Metroid.
Yeah.
Again, both so important games, both amazing games, both satisfying games. Both have aged brilliantly, but just the modern spin, the beautiful graphics, the charm, and the humor in Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Everyone, go play it. Go play it.
It's
So having sank 40 plus hours into that, what did I decide to do straight after? Picked up Neo.
Oh,
Yeah,
another short game.
I've been wanting to play that one.
So as you know, I've had $20 Sony rewards.
That's right.
The PSN card for a little while. Finally loaded up that cash or loaded up that credit and cashed in on it. Picked up Neo and picked up Darksiders for the third time.
They're like for $4 or something, wasn't it?
It was what $1.80 or something weird, like
Whoa.
$2 and
Maybe
Neo. It was $2 and Neo was $17.50. That's
there
what
you
it
go.
was.
Nice.
Yeah. But I have been absolutely hooked by Neo completely. Like, this has grabbed me in a way that I rolled off Bloodborne. I bounced off it. I couldn't get into it. I loved Dark Souls 1. I played the hell out of Dark Souls 2 and then just kind of fell off it because it didn't bring me into its world in the same way as Dark Souls 1 did. Dark Souls 2 seemed a bit more scattered.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of warping to different areas that
Kind of. It was just more hub and spoke than Dark Souls was. The original Dark Souls had like a more cohesive world where you'd kind of go in and out of areas, whereas Dark Souls 2 was more hub and spoke type thing.
And ironically, Neo is kind of segmented as well, but for some reason it is just completely grabbed me. But to explain what it is, the simplest way of saying it is it's an action
Samurai Dark Souls.
It's an action RPG that yes, most people describe as Samurai Dark Souls. Dark Souls with Samurai. It's by Team Ninja, who you guys probably know a lot better than me.
Yeah.
Because they did Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
And I've never played any of those games ever. Have you guys played them?
I've played the Ninja Gaiden remakes, but not all the way through, I don't think.
I've played the old Ninja Gaiden games, but not like the new ones.
So the first Ninja Gaiden was on NES.
Yeah.
It's on the classic.
And then I tried playing it.
like-
It is impossible.
Yeah.
Don't try playing
The
it.
first 3, I think.
If you want to feel like shit at like you're shit at games, play Ninja Gaiden on the NES.
Will do.
But the main ones that I was thinking of, did they come out in the PS1, PS2, PS3? Like, what have they done?
Elliot's got this.
There's a Ninja Gaiden Black was the first kind of modern remake. And that was the original Xbox, and that was the first Team Ninja one, and that was who's that guy? He's like one of those auteur creators.
Oh, yeah.
Motomu.
I know you're talking about, but that kid's not going to be.
Ina. Anyway, he's an amazing character. This creator, if you see him, he's always wearing sunglasses and he's got this really long hair. And there's this famous quote of him when they were play testing an early build of Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, right.
Everyone complained that the game was too hard, and so he made it harder.
Yes, hero.
So that was Ninja Gaiden Black, and then they did the new Ninja Gaiden remakes for like PS3 and 360, which is like the series that you see now, like Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yep.
And I think those are the last ones they did, right?
Yeah, I think it's just those two.
And then they also did Vita ports of those.
There were?
Yeah. One of them was on PS Plus. Ninja Gaiden 1 was on PS Plus. That's how I played it, actually.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
And you haven't played any of them, Josh? Any of the modern ones?
Nope.
That's funny. I just assumed that this would have been like, because it was such a famous series, I assumed you would have split through it at some point.
It's got that Dark Souls appeal where it's really difficult but fair.
Totally. And it's like, so yeah, that's the way lots of people would describe it. Dark Souls Samurai.
Yeah.
It shares a lot of the ideas that like even Hollow Knight has taken from things like you get your currency by killing the enemies. You use that currency then to level up, and the higher level you go, increasing your stats, the more expensive it is to level up again. If you die, you lose all of your current currency.
Oh shit.
And of course, if you get resurrected at a home base, which in this case is a shrine. Of course, in Souls, it's a bonfire, and in Hollow Knight, it's the bench.
Yeah.
And if you don't manage to retrieve your souls, well, sorry, in this case, the currency is Amrita. If you don't manage to retrieve it the second time out, you lose it forever.
Shit. Okay.
Elliot's like, yes, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Other stuff that it's really close. It's like the combat is very measured. It switches between like a slow pace blocking. Easy for me to say. Okay, give me another second. The other way it's similar to Dark Souls is that the combat is very measured. You switch between slow paced, where you're blocking and parrying and kind of strafing around the enemy, to quick attacks, trying to get in, not use up too much stamina, and get out of there, and then go back to blocking and measuring up the enemy, trying to size them up.
It's a little more fast paced than Dark Souls in the sense that like I don't know. I know you're waiting for openings, but you're also doing things like counterattacking, at least a lot more than I was in Dark Souls. Because oh no, you don't counterattack. If you press the button after you've spent your key, that's when you get your.
That's exactly. So it's not so much like Bloodborne, where if you take hits and you counterattack, you can regain that health that you had lost. In this case, you can, after hitting an enemy or after wasting stamina by attacking or by rolling, you can regain that stamina quicker by tapping R1.
Okay.
So it's like it's at a certain point, like you'll see like a flash, and it's
kind of like FF15.
Actually, what it really reminds me of is
kind of
quick to keep running.
Is Gears of War? The quick reload.
Oh yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that because you can see the kind of soul essence building, and you just have to tap it at the right time. It's kind of like in Gears of War, the reload mechanic where you see the bar moving along and you have the little space that you have to hit it again just at the right time, and it's quicker.
Yeah.
It's really satisfying when you get it, but I find that I go through battles completely forgetting that I can do that, and then I'm like, God, I gotta do that more.
Yeah, there's a lot I needed to like unlearn, I give you all from the Dark Souls games, and like kind of learn anew for the Neo. Because I played Neo, the demo for Neo that came out a while back.
So I was trying to figure it out because I didn't think you had it, but you're talking like you know.
No, yeah.
I did too. Did you not play it?
I haven't played it, no.
The demo?
Oh, the demo, I think that was one of those timed demos. You could only play it.
Yeah, it was timed,
and I was out of town.
But like, I mean, with having to switch with stances and, just the different, I don't know. I didn't have enough time with it to really get comfortable with it. So it's not like I don't think I would like Neo so much as the time that I played, I just was not at that point yet.
Yeah, I found with the demo, they tried to throw too many things at you, and it was so easy just to fall off and just to say, "Oh no, I enjoyed the Souls." They were easier, they were straight up.
Dark Souls was much easier.
That's what it's got in common. Like the obvious things that are different from the soul structure are it's mission based.
Yeah.
So it's I guess maybe that's more similar to Demon Souls.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But even Demon Souls, did you have to get to that first area to start out?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. So it still felt like a bit more of a cohesive world. Whereas this, you have a mission select screen that you decide where you're going. And then it's smaller individual levels, which have a lot of replayability as well. New missions will appear at the same level.
Okay. Basically
with different level caps or recommended levels. And you can replay at the same place. I shouldn't use the word level for the same thing. For two different things. That's the problem here. So
Stage.
You can replay the same stage. But you might start off at a different starting point. It might be a different type of day. There might be different enemies. You might have to go a different route, and there might be a different boss to face. Or I think it's more that there's one main boss, and maybe when you run through it the next time, you won't have to necessarily kill that boss to complete the mission. So it mixes things up, and it means you're constantly leveling, and it gives you reasons to go back in. And yeah, again, it's a sense of replayability that doesn't get boring, or at least for me, it hasn't yet. But then again, I'm only 20 hours in or so.
Yeah.
But really, really enjoying it. And another thing, unlike Dark Souls, this is two different currencies. It has one, which is your souls, but in this case, it's called Amrita.
Yeah.
And it's used for leveling up your character. But then it has a complete gold currency as well, which is for buying and selling weapons and doing stuff at your blacksmith.
Okay. And Souls combines those.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Which really, really screws you up.
Yeah.
if you don't retrieve them. At least this, you're still going to be able to go and well, your blacksmith is worth mentioning as well, because it's so different from the Souls as well. In the Souls games, you have to find a blacksmith, and often you have to bring them certain items in order to just be able to buy and sell from them.
Yeah.
In this case, the blacksmith is from the menu select screen.
Oh, nice.
And most of the options available to you at the start. I haven't explored it as much as I want to be honest. I wish Josh was playing this game too, so that he could just explain what I should be doing, because there's a lot going on. There's like obvious things where different weapons have different rarities, and the more rare it is, the better the stats on it.
That's the other thing I heard. It was it's almost like a loot game kind of. And
it is.
You get like a lot of like
is.
random generated weapons and stuff like that.
And that's another reason why I think you would absolutely adore this game. Wow. It would be totally up your alley. Like
there's still Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne to finish.
No, I'm telling you, man, you should play this. I wish we could co-op it as well. Apparently, it's much easier to connect. Two people can co-op levels together as long as the person who's joining has already beaten a level. So I could play a level for the first time. Josh presumably has already beaten all the levels that I played. He could jump in and help me.
Does it? I mean, I know you haven't done this. I don't know if you know the details, but does it even out your levels? Does it bring him down or bring you up?
I have no idea whether it does or not.
Yeah,
it would probably end up just Josh killing all the enemies and me running along after him.
Yeah, but
I would say it would still be fun.
Standard Stevo and Josh operating procedure.
Exactly.
Josh and anyone operating procedure.
And another big wrinkle in it that Josh already mentioned was the stances. And the stances was probably the most intimidating thing when you start off, because there's like high, medium, and low stance. And the high is meant to be heavier attacks, more attack focused, less blocking, but it uses up way more stamina. So you kind of have to be sure that you're going to kill an enemy or stun an enemy if you're using the high stance. The medium is for blocking and parrying, kind of focuses on defense. And the low is more dodging, movement-based, quick attacks, and then get out of there, and then quick attacks and get out again.
Okay.
It's like, I found it really intimidating. So as a general rule, what I did was like, well, I guess it's worth mentioning the weapons as well. At first, it tells you to specify what you want to use as your primary weapon, your secondary weapon, and then your ranged weapon.
Okay.
And your primary weapons can be either like axes, spears, swords, or dual swords, or maybe a couple of other things that I can't think off the top of my head. But I went with an axe, and then I went with my secondary, a sword, and then I went with range. I went with bows, just because they seemed all over the place. And the axe, I just tend to use high stance for like tearing through things. The sword, I go defense or low. So I haven't been messing about with different stances with certain weapons that much.
Do you like pair a weapon to a stance, so when you switch stances, it automatically pulls out that weapon?
No, but the controls are surprisingly intuitive. There's a lot of buttons and there's a lot going on, but I feel like I haven't found it overawing. I've been able to keep up with it. The tutorials are really good. Most things are explained. And I guess what's the other major thing? The other major difference is there's multiple skill trees. So I don't think Souls even really has skill trees.
It doesn't
at all.
Nope.
But the skill trees in Neo are one of the most enjoyable parts of it. There's a skill tree basically for each of your different weapon types. So I was leveling up different axe moves or different sword moves and so on. But it's also got ninjutsu and omnio. And ninjutsu is your ninja moves, things like being able to run silently or throw shurikens, or am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, that's good.
Your omnio is your magic stuff, so elemental damage, and there's just so much going on that I guess I could have easily fallen off this and decided, wow, this is too complicated and there's too much to it. And I have to shout out to Josie, friend of the show from Pod Nerdy to me. He actually saw me playing Neo last weekend. My back was playing up and I was basically laid up for the weekend. Spent all of Saturday and Sunday playing Neo. He saw me on PSN and he hit me up and I was chatting back and forth. He was giving me some tips. Oh. Huge help.
Whoa.
I mean, he was like substitute Josh for a day. It was good. I really appreciate it.
That's awesome.
But I would say, Josh, this is your game. You need to get this game. Please get it on PS4. Do you have any credit?
No, not anymore.
Useless.
I pre-ordered Dragon Quest XI.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man.
But you would love this. Please, if you're going to get this, maybe it'll be 2019 by the time you do. Don't know if I'll have beaten it, but if you're going to get it on PS4. Maybe it'll be a PSN game at some point. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it could be. Because the other Ninja Gaiden games were PS Plus at some point, so I could see it.
But Elliot, I will also say for you, I know this seems like a lot, but it's more cohesive. Like it's less obscure. For another thing that's definitely worth mentioning is like it's held together by a story. It's actually got a plot.
Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah. So obviously the Souls games never have a plot.
Nah.
They basically tell you
lore.
Yeah. They tell you everything.
Knee deep in
it. Through like the environment, just the setting, and by picking up items and armor.
Yeah.
Some of them have lore attached to them.
Yeah.
But this is cinematic. It's got like really high quality cutscenes. It's got named characters. It's got structured plot. It's
what's the story like? Just like the premise. How does he get into it?
So your main character is an Irishman.
Oh,
which
he does not look Irish.
I know he does not.
His name's William
at all. Also, his name is William.
Oh no,
which is a particularly English name.
Should have been Stevo.
So this character William is traveling to Japan in pursuit of Edward Kelly.
Is this Ned Kelly?
An Englishman? No.
Okay. I thought there was
who is some kind of like wizard or mage, and he's seeking this soul substance called Amrita, which he wants to use to help Elizabeth I's army claim victory over Spain.
Okay, so there's some historical
and somehow they're like inspiring the civil war in Japan so that they can like take all the Amrita out of Japan because that's where it comes from.
Okay.
And use it in the war against Spain. It's like,
so why are you a samurai?
Why are you a samurai? No idea, Josh. No idea.
Oh,
something about guardian spirits. Your guardian spirit is called Saoirse. A fine Irish name, proper Irish name. None of this William bollocks.
You mean Ceres?
Saoirse. Yeah, Saoirse. So I haven't got that far into the actual story. I've only like played through maybe 4 main missions, and I've just unlocked the next area, but I haven't gone yet. I'm leveling up a bit, but it is definitely, in terms of having that extra, thing to hold it all together and to get you through it.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. Just the idea of running across the world to hunt down an Englishman, fantastic. All about it, lads. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're talking about all the systems, all the stuff that's involved, all the different ways, and then you threw in the skill trees and stuff, and I was just like, oh shit.
It does seem like
I feel like that's where it would start to lose me. But then you're like, it's one of the most entertaining parts. Like you did a good job like selling it, I think. And also I remember it's like around the time, maybe a few months before it came out, I was listening to a podcast that like every episode they were glowing about it. And I think it was like 8-4 Play. So they were in Japan and they got like an early build or beta or something like that. They got to play way before we did. And we're just like talking about how good it was and then the problems they had with it. And then the next episode, which would be a couple weeks later, would be like,
they're just like, it's all perfect.
It's all, well, they fixed it. Like the Team Ninja would listen to fan feedback and adjust the beta. And it was almost like built by feedback. And like by the end, they're like, it's great. There's still some like issues they had with it, but the way it was developed, the way they listened to fans during the beta periods and the testing periods, like it's been high on my list since then. Yeah. Haven't gotten around to it obviously, but hearing you talk about it too, sounds like Josh would also be really.
Why are you putting this on me?
Some of the systems are still a little bit obscure. Definitely the blacksmith. I have no idea what I'm meant to be doing. Should I buy and sell stuff? Should I trade stuff in? Or like, for example, with a weapon, you could either sell a weapon for gold. Mm-hmm. You can offer it at a shrine to get Amrita, or you can break it down, disassemble it into resources, which presumably you use to build stuff at the blacksmith.
Well, which do you need at the time?
Well, you see, I'm not sure because I'm not buying stuff from the blacksmith and I'm not forging stuff at the blacksmith, and I'm like, should I be assuming that I'm always going to collect better weapons? Yeah. Or should I be trying? There's also this thing where you basically reinforce a lower level weapon with a higher level weapon. Okay. And then if you've used the higher level weapon enough, that there's a familiarity rating. If you've used it enough, and it can like pass down certain stats bonuses to the one that you're reinforcing. And then the one that you're reinforcing jumps level, but also can then get better as well. But it is obscure. Yeah. I want Josh to explain it to me so that I actually can get the benefit of it. Right now, I've watched a tutorial about it and I'm still like, got these ones in my inventory.
5 months and some change.
But yeah, Neo is amazing. It's got me back into the Souls style. It's got so much more going on that I feel like I'm looking forward to leveling up different things, and I'm not as worried about losing all my souls and wanting to toss the table and just give up completely, because it has these other things that soften the blow. Oh, but boss battles are still brutal. Yeah. Brutal. Oh man. And I feel like I should somehow know what elements I should be using against other ones. It just came to me. There was this lion that I was fighting against that was lightning. It was its elemental attack. And I couldn't for the life of me work out what I should be doing. Nope. I think it was called something with an N.
Neo.
Not Neo. Neo. I can't remember. Anyway, but then of course after something just switched in my head, and I was like, "There's an earth element." Yeah, of course, lightning, earth. It's gonna be earth. I should have been using earth. I managed to get through it somehow, but lads, Neo, great game. Get it. Have you still got PSN?
No. Credit? Remember my epic story of God of War in the way out?
Completely.
Yeah.
You got 3 cents left. You got 4 cents left.
Well, I've been charged for PSV since then. So, but speaking of A Way Out, we still haven't played that. So.
I know. Sorry, that was my bad. Again,
it was mine as well.
My back was screwed up, and we should have done that. But sometime this week, definitely.
Speaking of games we haven't played, Tacoma, I think, was our last our
Oh,
last
that's right.
roll.
It wasn't.
Oh, was it Tacoma? I thought it was.
Yeah, it was Tacoma.
Oh, okay. I guess I gotta
Yeah.
download that.
Gotta get that played before the next one.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be
Actually,
pretty quick to get
maybe
through.
maybe I should stream that.
Well,
I can stream
in-
that on my desktop,
3 days, I should finally be home. So
so
hopefully,
you can play games again.
yeah. Well, I can play non-Switch games. Yes.
Yeah. But also speaking of our roulette, my buddy Victor from my old roommate in Japan, I've told you guys about, he was also playing through our last roulette game, Oxenfree. And
Nice.
was just saying, like, he just sent me a message the other day, and I didn't have much time to look in to read the whole thing, but it starts off with saying that Oxenfree is definitely worth a second playthrough because the dialogue changes and the story changes.
Oh
and
wow.
Oh, okay.
maybe not too substantially.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that he said all this stuff,
But even just enough to keep you interested and to
Yeah.
surprise you. That's
yeah,
pretty
I was
cool.
surprised to hear that. Yeah, I thought it was a simpler game than that, but maybe I'll give it, after Tacoma, I'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
But not wait too long, but I forgot how the dialogue went
Right.
originally. Yeah, could be a game that keeps on giving.
Oh, I did want to mention really quick though. When I get home, I started the like 2 days or whatever that I had before I took this trip. The No Man's Sky next update came out.
Yeah.
And so I got that download, and I've only played like an hour, but they've changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
that's
there, first off,
significant.
there's like co-op now, like where you could just join other people's games. It's not like you have to like meet them in the whole freaking universe.
Whoa.
And then there's also third person perspective. You can customize your appearance now because you're third person.
Yeah.
And then like just how the game, there's so many quality of life improvements and just how you find stuff and how you do things.
I heard there's
so much
a
has changed.
Survival mode. Was that this one?
No,
or was
that's
that the last
that's
one?
been around for a bit. They make everything a little bit harder, but
alright.
I don't know. I don't feel like I need to go that brutal in this
It
game.
might
So.
make things interesting if you're co-oping it though.
yeah.
Possibly, yeah, but now there's like infinite base building and things like that. There's so much extra to do, so I'm gonna give it a healthy chance now that they've. I mean, I gave them a lot of shit when they first came out with No Man's Sky and they underdelivered, but kudos to them for actually going back and putting the effort in to make it what it is now. So I'm gonna give it another shot. I started over.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens.
I noticed they were doing a bit more press recently as well after being quiet for a long, long time.
Pretty much had no choice but to be quiet.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
guess so. Yeah, there was
Shitstorm,
no
they,
winning.
just can't respond. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just show them through action, which sounds like that's
Yeah.
what they're trying to do. So good for them.
I
Yep.
can't imagine when they start building a new game and when they're looking to bring a new game out that they'll ever approach it like they
Yeah.
did this time out.
So yeah, there's a little preview for next episode. Some No Man's Sky, some Tacoma at least.
Mhm.
Certainly.
But yeah, until then, you can check us out on our website at ratherbecast.com. You can follow us on Twitter at RBPcast, and we all have our own Twitters that we like to frequent, at RBP Josh, at RBP Stevo, at RBP Elliot. Please, wherever you're listening to us, if it's iTunes, if it's Stitcher, if it's SoundCloud or YouTube, give us a like, a thumbs up, a 5 stars, a review, subscribe.
Tell your friends.
Exactly.
Tell your family.
Even 4 stars will take.
Tell your priest.
Yes. Tell your mailman. Tell your milkman.
Tell your fireman.
Yeah.
You don't have a fireman.
And we'll be hopefully streaming some games again soon on twitch.tv/ratherbyplaying. And as I mentioned, we're on YouTube. We'll put all the video on demand.
Once we're done traveling.
Once we're finally home, those will be on YouTube as well as every episode of the podcast. And if you have any questions, shoot them over. We'll read them on the cast and discuss them. That's questions@ratherbycast.com. So I know we've already lost Josh's mom and Stevo's brother, but to anyone else still listening, thank you for...
Sounds like they died.
Rest their souls.
They're still around. I love you, Mom.
Yeah, thanks very much for listening, and we will be back in 2 weeks.
See you then.
Cheerio now.
Goodbye.
Cheerio now.
Ah.